Welcome to the Bargain Bin Boys. I'm Nick.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jack.
Our DVDs for today are Gamer, an intense action movie about a video game, and Pontypool, the scariest zombie-based radio movie you will ever see.
And also the only zombie-based radio movie you'll ever see.
That's right,
I mean,
Jack.
Empire did give it 4 stars, but
do Empire know what they're talking about?
Empire doesn't know what they're talking about. This is not a film that is good
Okay.
in any way.
Let's start with Pontypool then.
I'll pick Pontypool back up again. Thank you.
Adam, do you want to give us a quick 20-second synopsis of what Pontypool is about?
Okay. Pontypool is about a radio host who is this weird American but now living in Canada, and he has a little radio show in the middle of nowhere until suddenly something starts to go horribly wrong and everyone turns into these weird repeating zombies and smash their heads into glass. And it's not very good.
No.
I mean, I enjoyed parts of it. It's a fairly interesting twist on the zombie genre.
I agreed with you when we watched it, but the more I think about it, the more I remember it not being good in any respect.
I still hold true. I still enjoyed it.
I was just very bored throughout the whole film. Nothing much happened.
See, I wasn't bored. It was bad. I was interested because none of it made sense.
It was a weird area where it was intriguing and mind-numbingly boring at the same time, and I'm not sure how it quite achieved that.
It was. I felt like the main character was in a different film. He was really going for it.
Yeah.
But everything around him was just a bit naff.
Well, because I think he was the only one who cared. I felt like everyone else didn't really care about the role so much, but he properly invested himself in it.
So the movie starts off with this radio host on his way to the radio booth place where they record the radio. I've said radio too many times now, but oh well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he stops at some traffic lights, and a woman comes up to the window of his car and stares at him, and then runs away. And he's really weirded out by it, but he carries on with the show anyway. And they're recording this radio show in the basement of a church somewhere.
Yeah.
It's a really strange setup, small town. But yeah, they start getting calls in that people are acting weird and repeating words they've heard off the radio. And the general plot is, if they hear certain words on the radio, they turn into zombies.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were going for, but the more they explained it, the less it made sense. And then they brought in the German, which didn't make any sense.
Yeah, no. The fact that he just climbed through the window when it was supposed to be a secure building. Earlier in the film, they literally went around the building and secured it, and then he just opens a random window and crawls in through it.
Talking about one of the characters is this German doctor who works out everything that's happening.
He's literally just an exposition dump. That's his sole.
But he also doesn't make sense with the exposition dump. It's all.
And then
ethereal,
once he's
weird.
figured it out, he doesn't bother explaining it to anyone. He just starts speaking German, so he can't be turned into a zombie. And it's very weird.
Yeah, it's basically the plot of Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah, which I liked about it, because I like Metal Gear Solid 5.
So deep down, Kojima,
Kojima
ripped off this film.
Yeah.
Which makes so much sense about that game.
Yeah.
It's weird. I completely forgot about the German, which says a lot about this film. And I forgot about the ghost at the beginning, because they bring it back as a big point.
I don't think she was a ghost.
But he calls her a ghost.
Yeah, but that's because he saw her. She was obviously just one of the first zombies.
I don't think they came back at all.
No, he put out a question on the radio, when do you call 911? What counts as an emergency? Because he didn't know whether to call 911 after seeing this woman on the road.
See, that's what I thought it was going to be more about that. Because that felt like a really big set of really important, look at this ghost woman. Nothing. But if she was the first turned, I guess that makes sense why she banged on the glass.
Yeah. I guess so. But they also didn't explain that in the slightest. And so that's just us.
In terms of where the film's set and what happens in it, apart from that one scene at the start where he's driving into work, the whole film is set in this church basement and them on the radio just listening to outside broadcasts of what's happening. And I felt it was really weird because we were just watching a guy listen to a guy telling him what was happening.
But I like that though, the way that you had to listen to what they were saying and just the panic in their voice just starting to rise as they realise what's going on.
That's one of the good bits about the film. That is his voice is amazing.
Yeah, he has a very nice, smooth,
it was
deep voice.
A nice, smooth southern voice.
But with this sort of semi-no French, which is a big plot point for some weird reason.
Spoilers coming up.
Spoilers
coming
for this amazing
spoilers.
4-star film.
They figure out that it's only English words over the radio that transmit the virus. The zombie virus attaches to words, so when you hear the words, you get infected.
Not when you hear them, when you understand them.
When you understand the word that's being said, you get the virus. So they start speaking in French to each other, but this actor clearly didn't know any French and clearly didn't bother to learn any. So the only words he says are oui and non.
It's quite comedic to watch that.
Yeah, it came across as funny when it could have been serious. I like it's a locked room, like Jack said. I do like a locked room film. But it was weird because this was a locked room and then they were in another locked room for half of it. And it just felt a bit more, where else can we put them that's in danger? Let's move the danger closer, and then nothing with it. Which I thought was a bit meh, to be honest.
I still hold true that I enjoyed it. Like, there are definitely parts of it that aren't great.
Yeah, there are some really good parts. And like the bit when they're on the phone to their helicopter pilot guy.
Yeah.
And you get the backstory of him, and then you just have to listen to him sort of dying.
Yeah.
That's really good.
That was good.
It's just more of that would have been better than just. Do you speak French? Yes.
Oui.
Are we at the stage where we can talk about the ending now?
Yeah.
Okay. What happened at the end?
I don't know. They had to, because the virus spreads when you understand the words, so they had to try and not understand the words. So they tried like word association, but did the opposite and tried to flip the words around of what they were saying.
But that's the thing, though. It wasn't just the opposite, because they had in their head that like if it was the opposite, then you'd understand that it was the opposite.
Yeah.
So they'd say something completely random. So like car would they'd say it as pasta because it's like two words that mean like completely different things and have no association.
That's the
How
one.
are you going to get home? Oh, I'm going to drive the pasta.
Yeah.
That's what they did. Yeah. But I couldn't understand why. They kept explaining different ways of the virus transmitting, and every time they go, no, that's wrong. You lost track of where they were. So at first it was kill his kiss, and then it went, no, that doesn't make any sense. Why would it be that? And they changed it, and then they changed it again, and I just lost track of.
I don't think the screenwriter himself or herself actually knew how the virus spread, and because it changed about 4 times, and how they defeated it changed about 4 times until it kind of just ended.
Yeah, and that was the whole weird subplot was the army were getting involved.
Yeah.
And if you weren't really paying attention because you were so confused why kill meant kiss for some dumb reason, the proper ending where they kind of sort of give up with the radio show.
You think they figured out how to solve it and they start curing people, but then they kind of give up on that idea and just sit and wait. And the army comes and blows up the church, and that's the end. Yeah, it's very.
Unless it's a big metaphor that I'm really missing.
Yeah, I think I think this film is a giant metaphor for something.
I thought it was too intelligent. The idea I had from the first 5 minutes, I thought this is going to be really cool, like a War of the Worlds zombie thing, but real. And it just wasn't that. When they were describing the hospital getting raided by the zombies, I thought, oh. This is going to be really cool. Like, you're going to hear them trying to report what they think's going to happen, and then you're going to have the guy who's actually there telling them. No, it's just like, there's so much wasted.
Yeah, there's a lot
It's a really cool idea. He's a really cool William Dafoe lookalike.
He is a Willem Dafoe lookalike, the actor.
It's just all wasted. I think we've covered that film.
out of 10, Pontypool.
Oh, out of 10, okay.
Wait, is it R10 or how IMDb write 10? Because
no, R10.
R10, so...
If it was IMDb, it's like, okay, so like 5 out of 10.
Out of the ones we've seen, it just gets worse the more I think about it. Like, it's like a 5. It's so middle. It's but I could watch it.
I still think it's solid 7.
Solid 7?
Yeah, solid 7.
I'd go with 4.5. There were ideas and parts I liked, but overall I just got bored. But I did enjoy some parts, so that's why it's a 4.
Well, now we can move on to the high-octane re-envisioning of everyone's favourite pastime of computer games with Gerard Butler. Gamer. Nick, can you give me 20 seconds on what this film was?
Gamer is about a new video game that's out where people control actual other people in like a Call of Duty-like situation. So this giant tech company have taken all the prisoners from death row across America, given them guns and put them in a war zone and put microchips in them to let teenagers control them and kill each other. It's It's a film.
Yeah, that's
It's-
how I'd describe it.
It's motion sickness, the film, for the first 10 minutes.
There's so many cuts in the first 10 minutes. I didn't know when I was blinking and when the film was cutting.
Yeah, it was honestly ridiculous. Like there was more than a cut a second for the first 10 minutes. It
Beautiful.
was ridiculous.
They were obviously trying to make this epic action gunfight scene where you were introduced to all these convicts who were fighting, but they weren't controlling their own bodies. But it was just bad. It was bad action.
It's like a really bad Black Mirror episode.
Yeah,
Like, you can see it being a Black Mirror episode.
yeah.
It's just, everything about it is screaming 2001, and not the film, just the year.
The year.
Everything is...
Even though it was made in 2009.
Yeah, somehow it's travelled back in time.
It has got a pretty good cast though. It has Gerard Butler as the main guy. It has Dexter, the main guy from Dexter. I forget his name.
He's just Dexter at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
I don't think he's done
Dexter.
it.
I think he's one of those
anything
actors that has
What's
achieved...
the kid called? I think it's Logan Lerman. Before
he's
he did
been in
he did Percy
He's
Jackson.
Percy Jackson, yeah.
And Perks of Being a Wallflower is him as like a young teen, and also one of the villains is Terry Crews,
The one and only.
the one and only Terry
Tupper
Crews, which we were
Tupper
very
Power.
happy to see.
It was... I forgot, when we looked at the DVD, we went, oh my god, is that Terry Crews? Completely forgot. The scene where he's introduced, screaming, Terry, is an amazing moment. It really just goes to show how bad this film is, but I'm excited to see Terry Crews just because it's Terry Crews.
He's just so ludicrously large.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand how a person can get that muscular.
The thing is, it's like I swear he's bigger in it than I've ever seen him in anything else.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
It's like prime Terry.
He's got those computer game enhancements.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's got to be it.
That's how they describe it in the plot.
No, he's
But-
just massive, and Gerard Butler is a small man.
The whole plot point is Gerard Butler is one of these death row inmates, but he thinks he's innocent. But the winner of this computer game thing, the last survivor, gets to go free.
Yeah.
And Gerard Butler has the microchip in him, and he's being controlled by Logan Lerman's character. And he's like a teenage esports star, really good at games. But the thing is, Gerard Butler thinks he could do better in the situation than Logan can, controlling him.
Yeah.
Because there's an issue with the ping and the latency between the microchips.
We'll get back to that.
Yeah,
bit.
We'll get back to that. But there's a whole subplot where Gerard Butler's wife is using the same technology, is in a Second Life kind of game,
Yeah.
kind of like a Sims game, where she's an actual woman in this like crazy world, and all these different guys are like controlling her and making her do weird stuff.
Yeah, she's basically being controlled by Gluttony
From Seven.
From Seven. It's like a shot for shot of him.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
It's very creepy, and I'm not sure why they included it.
And trying to discuss what they make her do on this is quite difficult.
Yeah.
But you can kind of guess what we're getting at here.
Yeah.
But they try and make her, like, not make her, the guy who's controlling her, just, like, really over the top, like, he's,
Yeah.
like, I mean, Gluttony from Seven is the perfect way to describe him. And, like, he's just sweating constantly.
That's a really unnerving shot. Every
Yeah.
time she talks, they do a close-up on his mouth, saying the words, and then she says them. It's really
It
unnerving.
was. I would have preferred if they'd stuck to like the Call of Duty-esque game and not gone with the Second Life.
That's like
style
it's
of
like
it.
two different Black Mirror
Yeah.
things going on at once. I like the Call of Duty thing. I like the people controlling people because they're bored of video games kind of thing. It's just, it felt like it was put in to kind of go, look how extreme people are. They're doing weird things to people, and it's okay. Just a bit. Also, the violence, like out of nowhere, because they're being controlled.
Yeah.
I guess they've got no pain. Someone did like a jump and broke their leg, and they're laughing at it, and it's really. It's not unnerving. Like, oh, it's society. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
I don't feel anything right.
And it's very over the top
Yeah.
violent as well. It's a hard 18. Like,
It's all the
it's very
yeah.
violent.
There are some things which are very hard 18 in it.
Yeah. We won't discuss them.
We can't discuss that, and we've tried thinking of ways of discussing that without saying the words we want to say.
But
even
unfortunately,
though
we can't come up with them.
there's no way around this, and we've really tried.
So one of the major plot points is about this ping, this latency
Yeah.
between the microchips and the people controlling the convicts. And the way I'd describe it is if the screenwriter asked their teenage son what ping was, and the teenage son described ping in one word, and the screenwriter decided to make it the entire plot of the movie
without
background checking or double checking how it works. Because throughout the whole thing, Gerard Butler's going, the ping's too much, there's too much ping, I'm lagging. It's like an 80-year-old man has tried to understand modern video games and write a screenplay based on them.
But it was a good laugh when it came out as that sole description was just the ping.
Yeah. Like, oh, I can't move fast enough, the ping, the lag, it's too much.
You have to set me free. You have to help me cut my microchip out so I can control my own body.
Yeah,
I think those were his exact words.
Yeah. It's a bit... It was really weird, was underplayed, was the whole kid. Like, he was bigged up in the world, like, he's like the best esports player. And then it just comes to a point where they just kind of stop using him. I thought he was going to play, like, a really big bit at the end. Like, he would have to come into the real world and save Gerard Butler and go, yeah, I can do this on my own. But nothing happened.
Because he was in the beginning, like, it showed him controlling Gerard Butler and he being this big star. But then after the point where he sets him free, he sets Gerard Butler free, he kind of just stops being in the film.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird.
I mean, granted, they do replace all his stuff with Gerard Butler shooting people in various different ways.
Yeah, and Gerard Butler having a fist fight with Terry Crews, which was very entertaining, I must say.
Just, it's the scale. I really liked the bit in the lift.
Yes.
Do you remember that bit?
No.
Jack looks terrified.
In the lift? I don't remember.
In the lift?
Yeah.
Were you asleep at this point?
I might have been asleep at this point.
It's very gripping, this film.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot of talk and trying to make you feel bad for him and his wife, even though he's on death row for a nasty crime.
Yeah.
And then it suddenly goes into a 10-minute gun sequence with about 1,800 cuts.
Yeah, you really tell when the action's coming because the cuts get quicker and quicker, and then
it's all like handheld cam, so it's all shaky. I did get very motion sick watching it.
It was it's so weird. It's so hard to explain this film without having someone like a director say, no, I meant this.
Yeah.
There was a weird dance scene. Oh, towards the end.
God, yeah.
When Gerard Butler finds the Dexter guy, who's the head of the tech company and is forcing them all to fight. All his bodyguards he's controlling at the same time, and instead of fighting Gerard Butler, he starts making them dance.
Yeah, in perfect synchronicity.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
I think the director was trying to go for some
Puppet Master.
Yeah, some shocking, weird dance scene in the middle of the movie that would be remembered. But no one saw this movie. No one's going to remember that scene.
I reckon Gerard Butler wakes up screaming because he's made this movie, and every now and then has to check that he's not being controlled. He really tried in this. There's some moments where I generally thought he's committed 100%. There's a bit at the beginning where he's got his gun pointed into open space, and he can see a reflection of the guards coming behind him. He's like, just turn around, You can really see it in his eyes. He's going, I'm going to make this film good.
Can we talk for a moment about the tagline of the film?
There's a tagline?
Yes.
Yeah, because I thought it was the
Gamer.
Unleash
him. What a tagline.
What, I mean, it's to the point. It's exactly what Gerard Butler wants to be done.
And in fairness,
unleashing him.
It sounds like a video game.
It is.
So
I've just noticed on the cover, if you ever do buy this DVD, do look at the cover. Just look there. Can you see Terry Crews' face in there?
I never noticed that. Terry Crews' face is very small on the side of the cover.
It's terrifying. His face is the side of a building, and he's just looking dead into the camera with these eyes of, oh, I want to hurt you. And it's the same photo on the back. They couldn't even be bothered to take another picture of Terry. They've just done the same one twice.
So, out of 10 for Gamer, Jack?
Ooh, like a 3. It was bad. The action was what put me... I think if the action was more competent, I would have given it a higher score, but the action just having a cut a second was just not fun to watch, and you do genuinely get mild motion sickness from this film.
Go on next.
It's real bad.
What do you think?
For me, I'd give it a 5 because I really didn't like any of the action scenes, but it's one of those bad movies where it's genuinely fun to watch and fun to take the mickey out of.
Yeah.
Which is what I enjoy. So I don't want to give it any higher than a 5 because it did actually make me feel sick and the action was so bad. But yeah, I'd stick with a 5.
This is the worrying thing, because I agree with you. Because I had fun.
I had fun watching it.
It was so fun, but Pontypool is better.
Pontypool is better.
It's just more consistent, so I can't give it a 5. But I'm fully aware I should be. So I'm gonna. It's like a 4, but I had so much fun. Just because it doesn't make
give it
any
a 5.
sense. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to give William Dafoe ripoff the same level as Gerard Butler in a video game. I guess it is a 4.
4.
But it's a regrettable 4 for
Okay.
game.
Well, as always, we bought these DVDs for 50p each out our local bargain bin at the local DVD store.
Non-copyright name there.
Yeah.
You know the one we're talking about.
You know
there.
the one we're
Everybody
talking
knows
about.
what we're talking about,
A non-copyright name local second-hand electronics store.
Which is definitely not 3 letters long.
Complete Electronics X-Corporated, if you know what I'm saying.
No, I get it. I
Yeah.
generally
You
have
got
to worry
it,
about.
yeah.
I was so confused.
So, yeah, we'll be back soon with more bargain bin DVDs. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, listening. You know.
No.
God damn it, Jack!
We're doing so well.
Cut!